and welcome to another video. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to stick with the Hangman theme, but we're going to make it a little bit different. We're going to make it in GUI, so we're going to use tkinter. There is one section of this Hangman game that is called Hangman Art, and I've created it using ASCII. And I am going to leave it in the description in the bottom of the box if it will let me, because it uses braces. But I'm just going to copy and paste it over. The reason for that is it took me absolute ages to make it, and therefore I want to save you some time. It's only a small part of the program anyway, so I will leave that in the description, but I will tell you when we are at that stage. So let's go around it the same way then. So new file, and I'm going to create a Python file. I'm going to save it as don't want to save it as desktop Hangman tkinter.py. Let's go with that. So again, just like normal, we have to import tkinter like that, and then we've also got to import random, so we can choose random words. Now we are going to choose a list, or define a list of random words, just like we did in the first one. Now we are going to keep this programming themed, just because why not? So words equal Python, and I am going to keep them all in lowercase again. Programming, computer, algorithm. What other programming words do we have? We could have function. We could also have variable. We could also have syntax. And let's leave it there just for simplicity. So this is the section where we are going to define the ASCII art for Hangman. So I am gonna, this is the bit where, you know how when you play Hangman on a whiteboard or on a piece of paper, every time the user gets, or the person gets a letter wrong, you draw a part of the person that gets hung. So this is the bit that does that for you. So I am going to give you this. So basically at the first line you will just have the words, which is this one. So this is the value of letters. Then you will have the stick that makes up the actual frame, and then it's the person that gets hung that ends the game, if that makes sense. So I will give you that, and I will remind myself to put it in there. So the next thing we need to do is we need to define a function to choose a random word from the list. So to do this, we're going to do def choose word, and we want to return a random word from the words list. So now we've created a random word, we also need to create a function that will update the Hangman ASCII art. Try saying that when you've had a few beers. Hangman ASCII art. There we go. So we're going to define a function to update the Hangman ASCII art. So the way we do that is we're going to go def update Hangman, and then we're going to pass it in mistake. Now we haven't made mistake yet, so it will cause some problems, mistakes, but we will fix it. I just went into Java mode there. Hangman dot label dot config text equals Hangman art, pass into that mistake. Now we've created a label, but we've not actually got it from anywhere first. So let's just take a break from the functions. So we've done the main elements of it. We'll come back to the rest of it. Let's just create the actual tool. So create the main window. So This will make it easier for when we're doing our functions. So first of all, we need to start by naming it. So I'm going to call it root is equal to tk.tk, like that. And I'm going to give it a title. Root.title is going to be equal to hangman, like that. And then, just because I always forget to do it, we are just going to put start the event loop, which is root.main loop, like that, because I always forget to add that in. So now we've got this section, let us start adding in some of the labels. So let's start with the hangman label, seeing as we've created that one first. So we're going to do hangman label, like that, and we're going to set that to equal a tk.label, and it's going to be attached to root, so it's going to show in the main window. We're going to have a font, and we're going to change that font to be let's do Courier, that, and then I want that font to have a text of 16. Just make sure we come out of the braces. Sure I did, but oh well. And then I'm going to place it. And I'm going to use grid. So I'm going to hangman label, like that. And I'm going to put dot grid row is going to be equal to 0. And then column is also going to be equal to 0. I'm just going to hover over there. Sorry, it's just pylons, that's fine. So now we've created that label. For the hangman label, I want to create a word label, so one that shows what the word could be. So I'm going to go word. So we've already got a list called words. I'm going to go word, choose word, and we've already created that function there. And I want to have word with blanks so that it shows up so the user can guess it. And I want those blanks to have the value of a hyphen, just like that. Actually, let's do an underscore. And I want you to multiply that by the length of the word. So I want you to work out how many underscores we need based on the length of the word that's been chosen. You'll have to excuse the voice. COVID is still a thing, still on the recovery end of it, but we're getting closer to the end of that. So now we're back to this. So we want that label to be displayed in the actual window that'll appear. So let's do word underscore label, like that. And we want that to be a tk.label, and we want it to be on the root, so we want it to show up in the window. We want it to have the text value of word with blanks. So whatever word with blanks is, we want it to hold that text value. We want the font to be Arial. You can make your font anything you want, by the way. Arial, and then we'll do the size of it as 24. And then we'll just need to add it to the actual thing. So just like we did before, we're going to use the grid. So word underscore label, like that. And we're going to do dot grid. Row is going to be 1. Row equals 1. Column is going to be equal to 0. Like that. And then we've now dealt, if we run this, let's just see what happens. I'm not 100% sure if it will run, so we've started doing some stuff at the top. Yeah, tk.tk, tk is not defined. Root tk, oh, I know why. I forgot to do import tkinter as tk. Now it should all be good. Try it again. So tkinter is not an attribute label. Did I spell it wrong? It's a capital L. Here we go. So this is what it looks like so far. So I'm going to bring it over. It's really tiny, so I'm just a little bit bigger. So this is going to be the label with blanks. So that's the bit where we're up to so far. So we've added on, we've got a title there, which is here. We've got our hangman label, okay, and we've got nothing in our hangman label at the moment because we haven't really given it anything. And then the choose word, so we've got as random words, it's picked a word for us, and this is the label for it. So I'm going to close it off. and then we're going to just continue, because what we need to do now is we need to add somewhere where the user can enter in their guess, so enter in their letters. So the way we do that then is underneath this section, we are going to create the guess entry and button. So first of all, let's create the guess entry. So guess entry is going to be where the user enters in their actual guess. So we're going to do it as an entry. We're going to attach it to the root. It's going to have a width of, let's do 3. It's going to have a font of Arial, and then size wise we're going to put it at 24. Let's make it quite large. I mean, we can always change this. And then we're going to do the same. We're going to do guess entry dot grid row is going to be equal to 2, and then column is going to be equal to 0. So that's the entry. Now we need a button that the user can click on, so we know that the user wants the program to accept that guess. So we're going to do the same thing. Okay, so guess button is going to be a tk button, and it's going to be attached to the root, if I can spell it right. It's going to have a text value of guess, and eventually we are going to have a command, but for now we don't know what that command is. So we're just going to leave the command out for now. Okay, we're just going to leave it at that for now. We will put the command in. The command is the thing, or the thing that calls the function that allows us to actually run what we want it to do. So we haven't declared that function yet, so we can't actually attach it to it. It'll just cause problems. So let's just grid it. So guess button dot grid, and that is going to go to row 2. Did I spell it wrong? No? Oh, must have been me. Column equals, let's do the column in 1, like that. And then we're just going to run it. See if we've made any mistakes. Yeah, no attribute button, it's capital B. I will always make mistakes. There we go. So now what we have is we've got an entry, which is this section here, and we have a guess button, which is this bit here. Now at the moment, it's doing nothing because we haven't put that command behind it. So we're just going to do one more. Okay, so we're going to initialize a result label, and then we're actually going to initialize the game. So let's do the result label. So result underscore label is going to be equal to tk.label, and it's going to be attached to the root, and then it's going to have a font. It's going to be Arial. Just makes it easier. And then it's going to have 24. That's its font size. And then I'm going to steal this. Change that. The result. Label. Change the grid to the row to 3 and 0. There we go. Let's run that. See what we've done. So the label itself won't actually show, and that's okay. So the label will only show when we've got results. This is what we've got. It looks pretty much the same. Now let's initialize the game. So we need to initialize the mistakes. So we have mistakes at the top. So we're going to initialize it here, and we're going to set it to 0. And then we're going to update the Hangman function with the value of mistakes, like that. So what that means is every time we run it, it's going to run through all of this and all the functions that we're going to make. If we make a mistake, it's going to update the mistake to the new whatever it is. So if it might be one mistake that we've made, and then that is going to be entered into the update Hangman, and it's going to show the mistakes. So let's do some of these definitions then. So we've created the mistakes, we're fine with that. Now we're going to check if the letter is a word. So we're going to do a new function. Define a function to check if the letter is in the word. So we're going to do def check guess, and we're going to pass into it guess, which if I could remember, I don't think we've made guess yet. Okay, don't worry, we will. We're going to make guesses actually. We're going to change that name guess to guesses. Like that. And oh no, we're going to stick to guess. Make it simpler. There we go. And inside here, we're going to pass in the global word with blanks because we want to use it in more than one place. And then we're going to say if guess is in word, then I want you to do for I in range. So I want you to keep checking. And I want you to check the length of the word. And then I want you to say that if guess, if word, I'm going to initialize that with I, there we go, is equal to guess, then I want you to say word with blanks is equal to word with blanks and the value of I. Can't even type anymore, there we go. Plus guess plus word with blanks. So, and then I plus like that. So then what we need to do is, once we've done all that, we need to go back to the for element and we say word label with, just word label dot config, and we want to change the text to be equal to the word with blank. Like that. If is not in word with blanks, we're going to end game. And we're going to create that variable, that function, and we're going to say lose. Like that. Else, and we're going to go for that first one. Global mistakes, like that. Mistakes, we're going to add one to it, add one to the mistake, and we're going to update Hangman function with mistakes. And then we're going to say if mistakes is equal to 6, we're going to end game and we're going to type lose. Okay, now the only thing we've got left to do now is actually just create this endgame function. So let's go back. And I'm going to add result into there. End game, not end game. There we go. And in here we're going to say if result is equal to win, like that. Result underscore text equals you win. Like. Else we are going to say result text equals you lose. The word was word. And then we're going to say result label let me spell you right, there we go. Result label dot config, and we're going to config text to be equal to result text. And then we are going to do guess entry dot config, and we're going to disable it so that no one can really enter anything else. Disabled. And we're going to do the same for the button. Like that. And then we're going to test it, see if it works. So if I bring this over to you, so it always comes up on my second screen. I don't want to go. So this is the starts. This is where this comes in. Now I have no idea what this word is, so I'm just going to start guessing. Okay, nope. Should probably do a clear function. Nope. Oh, something's not working though, is it? Okay. Let's just double check every code thing we've written. So we've imported tkinter as tk, we've imported random, we've defined our words, got our hangman art, which we've copied, so there can't be any issues in that. Def choose word, return dot choice words, define to update the ASCII art, def update hangman mistakes, hangman underscore label dot config, text hangman art, and then give it some mistakes. Right, this will be the bit. F, check guess, global word with blanks, if guess in word, or I in range len word, if word I is equal to guess, word with blanks equals word with blanks plus guess plus word with blanks, I plus 1, that's fine. Word label, and that word label should be with the for, yeah. Config text equals word with blanks, if underscore not word with blanks, end game lose, else global mistakes plus equals 1, update hangman mistakes, if mistakes is equal to 6, end game lose, end game result, if result dot win, result text you win. I can't see anything wrong with it. See nothing wrong. Try it again. Might just be me this time. A. Oh, A. Oh, it's working. Something's working. Oh, it's working now. I didn't do anything different. I. U. Yeah. I'll. Perfect. You win. What happens if we lose? Try again. Make it a bit bigger. I'm going to put all the words that I don't think ever would be in there. Because I want to see what happens and make sure it works for see what's in there. Oh, no. You lose a little bit. His word was Python. So there are quite a lot of things that you could do to make this different. So for example, you can make that letter change or get rid of that letter. You can make it so the screen size is bigger anyway, so when it starts the screen size is a lot bigger. You could also make it so that the user had the list of guesses that were being displayed in the label so that they could see the letter that they've already guessed. But again, it's a very basic example, an introduction to Python using tkinter and creating a hangman. So that is it for this code, for this session. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Happy coding!